Can you get healthy drinks, healthy foods from any restaurant where you go out? I just popped into a Dunkin Donuts, got myself a coffee, which got me thinking about whether you can get something healthy from a place like a Dunkin Donuts. But so it got me thinking about, is it possible to get something that is more or less healthy? If you wanted coffee and you don't like Starbucks or there's no other coffee shops nearby, can you get something healthy from a place like Dunkin Donuts? And for myself is from Dunkin, what I got for myself from Dunkin Donuts is a cold brew with oat milk, stevia, and it's called sweet cold foam. It's like a marshmallow foam. It's not high in calories, nor is it high in sugar in the drink itself, relative to other drinks that you can get at Dunkin'. This drink probably comes out to about 80, 90 calories, very little sugar, which is a good option if you're trying to stay clean, if you're trying to stay healthy. So yes, it's possible to get healthy drinks from any place, especially like coffee. I think drinking your sugar is probably one of the worst things that you could do, and a lot of people do that when they're going to order their coffee from a Dunkin Donuts or from a Starbucks. They just go for the options that are just high in calories, and you can still have a good cup of coffee, enjoy your coffee, and still keep the calories low, still keep the sugar low. So it's absolutely possible to do that. You just have to know what to choose. I just wrapped up a session with a client. I was talking with her about calories, being in a calorie deficit, being in maintenance, and she asked me a question that I thought was interesting. Elaborate on my answer a little bit more in this video in the hopes that you find it helpful, because it struck a curiosity within me. And the question is, like, what happens when you've achieved your weight loss goals? Like, you're at a weight that you feel satisfied with, you don't want to lose any more weight, and the obvious answer, maybe it's not obvious, the next thing is to just maintain that weight. And the way you maintain your weight is through being in maintenance calories, meaning you eat just about the same amount of calories in a day that you burn. And which sort of the curiosity around that is, for how long do you do that for? Are you gonna indefinitely track calories, count and measure the amount of protein you're having, the amount of carbohydrates you're having, the amount of fat that you're having? And I genuinely believe that, yes, it may sound radical, it may sound boring, it may sound repetitive, it may sound mundane, but discipline is found in the things that are repetitive and boring. I'm not saying that at all times and all periods in your life you need to be tracking your calories, because right now I'm starting to slip back into wanting to track calories, but it's like I haven't fully committed to tracking calories, so I'll roughly estimate how much protein I'm having. If I have oatmeal that has 20 grams of protein in it, and then some whey protein that has some protein in it, I'll just, at the end of the day, look at what I've had and roughly estimate what I've had. So even right now, I'm still not tracking calories. My point is, you're not going to always be tracking your calories, but if you want to maintain your weight, if you want to lose weight, and if you want to watch your weight closely, then I think the majority of your time, 80% of your time, you are going to be tracking. It just becomes a part of the thing that you do, just like you brush your teeth, just like you put on your shoes and you tie your shoelaces, just like you grab your phone. Like, all these habits, all these things that you do that once seemed like things that you do not participate in, you somehow end up doing. And I think it just becomes a habit. It becomes a part of who you are. So ideally, like 80% of your time, you're tracking calories, and then 20% of your time you're not. Whether it's because you're at a family event, or you're out with friends, or you're on vacation. So that's my perspective on it, is that yes, you are going to need to be tracking calories indefinitely. If you care about maintaining a healthy weight, if you care about what you're putting in your body, how much you're putting in your body, if you care about hitting your protein targets, then yes, you are going to have to track and make tracking calories and protein intake a part of what you do every single day. That's my perspective on it. Some people may agree, some people may disagree. It's just my opinion on it. I am walking the dog, letting him off leash, get some playtime with the ball after being cooped up inside while I worked and had fun, and he now gets to have some fun doing body recomposition, losing fat, building muscle, getting toned, as they like to say, getting lean. I don't want to lose fat. I don't want to lose weight. I just want to get toned, and I want to get lean. These are all the things I hear. These are all the things people say when what they really mean is they're a little fat and they want to lose some fat and put on a little bit of muscle. Now, I'm not here to say that I'm the muscle building expert. Look at me. I'm not a bodybuilder, nor is that my area of expertise, and nor is it the clientele that I help. I simply help people get healthy, get fit, lose fat, look better, look cleaner, look fit, look like they work out. That's my area of expertise. And when it comes to people's expectations, they think they're gonna go to the gym and they're gonna see results instantaneously. One thing that prevents people who work out, who constantly exercise, one hurdle they might be overlooking is the fact that you don't follow a training program. And I know that seems, what are you talking about? I don't follow a training program. I go to the gym and I lift weights, but you're not following a training program. You're just going into the gym and you're haphazardly lifting weights. You're doing different exercises without any rhythm, without any logic to it, without any purpose to it, without any insight into it. And I say that not just because I've trained people who come to me and they think that they have a training program in place, but I say that as an individual myself who at periods of time in his life have, for whatever reason, not followed a training program. You go into the gym and you work out, sure, you lift weights, but you're not actually following a training program. And I could say from my own experience working with clients and just from my own personal experience, the periods of time where I don't follow a training program, where I just go into the gym and I wing it in terms of the exercises that I'm doing, I don't see progress in my strength, in how I'm looking. And the reason is because I'm not following a training program. Whether it's a 2-day, 3-day full body split, a 3-day, a 4-day split, a 5-day split, you gotta follow a training program. Following a training program is the key that you need to achieve your weight loss and muscle building goals. Just look at the extreme end of the spectrum. Bodybuilders follow a training program to the T. They make sure that they are following a training program. Why is that? Because that is what guarantees them progress. That is how they achieve their goals. That is how they put on muscle, because they know what day they're working what body part. They know what exercises they're doing. They know the order and the sequence that they're doing in. That's the extreme end of the spectrum. And then the other end of the spectrum are people that just go into the gym and they just lift any machine they see in front of their face. And you know the type of people I'm talking about. You see them in your gym. People that are on every machine, doing every exercise, not doing it correctly, just winging it. That, you don't want to be on that side of the bodybuilders. But if you don't fall in that category, you want to find the balance point, which is like
my ideal clients, the people that I worked with, people that just want to get fit, but they don't want to push things to the extreme of being a bodybuilder. But they also know that being on the opposite end, where they're just doing things freely and without purpose and without intent and without a training program, they know that doesn't get them results. So you want to follow a training program that gets you results, whether it's a 2-day full body split, a 3-day full body split, whatever it is. That's up to you to decide, and of course with the help of a coach like myself can help you determine that what's going to be best for you. It depends on a variety of things. It depends on how much time you've got to commit to lifting weights. It depends on what your goals are, what your priorities are, whether you want to focus on upper body, developing your upper body, or developing your lower body. All this to say, that's the reason, that's one reason, one of the main reasons why people don't see results. It's because they're not following a training program. I know from my own experience of not following a training program, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's different reasons, different seasons in your life. There was a period of time where I was following like a bodybuilding program, and you know what? I realized that, fuck, this is a lot of work, man. This is a lot of work. I was like trying to put on muscle, like eating perfectly, lifting weights like crazy. I would have these workouts that I would need to do. I would be in the gym at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. getting the workout in. And that was intense. And guess what? Did I see results? Absolutely. But then I've also been on the opposite end of the spectrum where I'm like free flowing. I'm just winging it. I'm just going in, lifting weights, just doing things. And there's no consistency in it. There's no discipline in it. And that's the problem with not following a training program. A training program forces you to be disciplined. It forces you to be consistent. Yes, sometimes it gets boring. It gets monotonous. It gets mundane. But it's in those things that you find results. It's when things are repetitive, when things are boring. That's the foundation, man. That's the foundation. You keep repeating that over and over again. Even when it gets boring, these exercises you do week in, week out, that's what gets you the results. It's not going into the gym and just like winging it, because that's not going to get you anything. Believe me, I'm speaking from my own experience and from my experience working with clients. That's the rant.